My name is Shu Gan. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Numerex. For those of you who don't know, Numerex is a unique company in the context of this event. We are a publicly listed company, 100% focused on IoT. And we are headquartered in Atlanta with our office less than a mile from this place. And we are proud to claim that we have thousands of enterprises using our IoT services with multi-million IoT subscription in any given day. So we are very grateful to have this opportunity to participate in this great event. And thank you, Tech, for giving us this opportunity. And I'm here to introduce the next speaker, Mark Zionts, who is our President and CEO. Mark, just like myself, is a graduate from Georgia Tech, one of the important innovation centers and engines of the region. And Mark has had a great distinguished career of the CEO of 6 successful companies. In September last year, Mark was appointed new president and CEO of Numerex. And ever since, we're under his leadership to have a fundamental transformation from a M2M vendor into a IoT managed solution provider. So without further ado, please join me to welcome Mark Zionts.
Thank you, Shu. All right, thank you, Shu. Now, I'm going to challenge you with a couple things. First, who has a more southern accent, Shu or myself? We're the tech guys, OK? The other thing is, I'm not sure how we got this slot, because we just had AT&T, then we had Intel. After Emerson, it's what, a couple $100 billion of revenue? We're closer to 100 million. So we're David up here amongst the Goliaths, so we get to be a little bit more provocative. So, because this isn't really vetted or screened by our IR or communication department, although I have to be careful because we're public. But let me ask you a question. Who in this room cares about IoT? Raise your hand. Great. Let me ask you another question. How many enterprises or customers do you really think care about IoT? Most of them? All of them? All? Some? I'm going to be a little bit provocative and tell you our customers don't care one bit about IoT. I'm at an IoT conference and I'm going to tell you they don't care. Because it's not about IoT. It's about helping a business run their business better. It's helping them be smarter in their business. And what I haven't heard so much of today is who's delivering a solution. People like to fixate on, tell me about your transport technology, or tell me about your widget, or tell me about your analytics. You need all the pieces or there's nothing there. Okay? This stuff is hard. And so it's interesting when you hear Intel come up and they've got all the pieces, and it's great if you're a Fortune 500 with a large IT organization or CIO organization, but we have 8,000 customers. And in most cases, many cases, they have a small IT department, or they don't even have one. They just need a problem solved. So when you think about IoT, we in the tech community talk IoT. The finance world talks about IoT, and bankers like to talk about it, and VCs like to talk about it. But customers like to talk about their business. And if you can help them run their business better, smarter, more efficiently, you're going to have a winning solution, because it all gets down to one thing, ROI. Now, this is really focused on the topic at hand, which is really industrial or enterprise IoT, which, by the way, if you look at reports out there like McKinsey, they say that's about 70% of the wallet share out there is going to be from the industrial segment. There's a lot of other things that are IoT, wearables, and there's other things in the smart home, but it may just be something riding over Wi-Fi. We're looking at enterprise and industrial solutions that help businesses run their business better. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Okay? Now, I'll give a little bit of an introduction, because some people may not know about Numerex. Certainly you know about Intel, you know about some of these other companies, you may not know about us, so I'll tell you a little bit about us. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the model, and I'll give you some focus and some use cases. All right? And I will try to save some time for a couple questions as well. So we are headquartered, as Shu mentioned. We're nearby. We also have a development center in Alpharetta, in Dallas, and we're also in India now as well. A couple hundred folks. Company's been around a long time, and it's really transformed from when you called it telematics to M2M, and now to IoT. But today, what we really focus on here is managing solutions. We have over 2 million subscribers. Most of those interconnect on a cellular network or a satellite network or a hybrid where you can have either option. We all talk about interesting transport technologies, but remember about 92% of the planet doesn't have cellular or any other form of wireless connectivity. And you've got to look at another form if you want a global solution, if your use case requires it. We design products, but we also use third-party products in terms of devices. But our goal is not to sell anybody a device. Our goal is to sell a solution, and we do that on a managed service, and I'll talk about how we do that. Now, in terms of the company, we focus on a set of vertical solutions. We also offer horizontal capabilities. So if somebody wants their own device or application, we can be the middleware with network connectivity as well as our platform services. So we do have centered to all of our solutions a platform, and I'll talk about what that means. Also, we've created a lot of intellectual property in terms of our solutions throughout the years, and we've been doing this for about 20 years. I think there was a comment made by Eric that this isn't so new in terms of the technology. I think that Rick said something similar. We've been connecting things up at the edge for quite a long time, but now you have the ingredients that have come together. But what you should take away from this slide here is that we're trying to give solutions as a service. We're trying to give you the end-to-end. And in many cases, this is aligning very well with our customers' requirements. Many of our customers are actually transforming their own business where they want to offer something that they have provided in the past as a sale, perhaps a piece of hardware, and they want to now offer it as a service. And you'll hear this coming about. It's really the trend of XaaS, anything as a service. And you can hear it from HVAC to jet engines to printers to whatever you can think about. How do you provide that as a service, an SLA, to a customer? Well, you obviously are going to need a lot of intelligence to make that happen. So this is a little bit about us. Lots of information on the web about us. Again, we're public, so if you want to look it up, feel free. And if you have questions, I'm here. We have a little booth out here as well, and a lot of our team members are here. The other thing is we partner with carriers. So you'll see a number of folks up here. AT&T works with Jasper, was acquired by Cisco. A ton of our connections are through that platform as well, interconnecting to our platform. But you'll see other global carriers here that we work with around the world. This list will expand as we go forward. And you also see a satellite partner on this as well. So we provide the connectivity. A lot of people have talked about the other forms, the LoRa, the Sigfoxes. Again, we're not religious about transport. We're just practical today. These are giving us ubiquitous, high-quality, secure connections, and that's really important to us. But we'll keep looking at alternatives. If they make sense for our customers, we can deliver them. Our customers are looking for a solution. They just want to make sure it's the right solution for them. That's why we have to have really trusted partners in order to deliver them. In terms of our solutions that we offer, they really fall into 3 major categories. So these are making things safe. So this is enabling be it alarm or fire signals from an end-to-end perspective, all the way from a device, a connected panel, all the way into a central station alarm, and making sure that's a 7x24 by 365 connection, to securing people with things like lone worker protection or elder care protection, to securing people that might be out on parole from offender monitoring. So we're securing people, places, things. The next big category really is knowing where things are, key assets, high-value assets, knowing where they are quickly, whether it's on your phone, your tablet, your computer, being able to track that high-value asset. And I'll give some examples of those use cases, but it's remarkable how much loss is out there. People have talked about this, whether it's a Levi's, losing a pair of jeans, or whether it's losing a high-value piece of medical equipment, loss occurs. So knowing where things are. But one example, not in our use cases I'll give you, is one of our customers is FEMA. We track disaster recovery assets. Those are pretty important things. I'll give you an example of a recent deployment. They had a problem in Flint, Michigan with water. So they got to understand, where are all of our water assets? So you've got to be able to look, you've got to mobilize, you've got to get them to that event quickly. That happens to be a satellite solution. Why? Well, their first assumption is towers could be down, depending on what kind of a response or emergency. Plus, they also have disaster recovery assets anywhere we have American interests. So it's not just limited to places that might have good cellular connectivity as well. So we help you secure your assets. We do that in a number of areas. Emergency management would be a FEMA example. Asset tracking, I'll give some examples of that. And then finally, optimizing your assets. Is my tank full? Does my garbage need empty? Are the assets in the right place? Is my supply chain working in the right way? So optimizing the deployment of assets is another piece of the solution here. So our focus on these is that we don't make a sale of a device. We're not just making a sale of a piece of network. What we're doing is we're bringing together a whole solution: device, network connectivity, platform, application, analytics, and we sell it as a monthly recurring service. So you're not dishing it, you're not writing a capital expense, you're not buying things up front, you're subscribing to a service that lines up with reducing your operating expenses or generating revenue, but it's matching up with that income coming in or those expenses going out in a very compatible manner. So in terms of some use cases, I'll go ahead and touch on a couple of these through the next couple of slides here and give you some details. The first one deals with bulk fluids. And you can think of any bulk fluid, bulk gas, and it could be volatile, it can be something that's non-volatile. But you think about this business. How many tanks are in just the US alone? You're talking tens of millions, if not over 100 million tanks. And the vast majority of these are not monitored. So here's how the business model might work today, and I'll give you how it works with us. Today, you might have somebody that's a distributor of an industrial lubricant. They might own a tank farm. The corporate office is a trailer parked on the tank farm. The IT manager is the business owner. They have 1,000 tanks in their franchise that they go out and service. They have trucks, and they have drivers. And they drive around, and they stop at each facility. And the first thing the driver does is get out, talk with the owner of the facility, chit-chats a little bit, nice and friendly, goes to the tank, might look at a gauge, or might pull out a piece of wood and dipstick it and say, how much do you need? You don't need any. Goes and chats a bit, how's the wife, how's the family, have a good day, see you next week. So think about that model. What if instead you knew the status of all 1,000 tanks at an instance, and now you know the route that you should take? At the end of the day, you're going to service your customer well because you're servicing them so that they never run out of supply. And in the end, you have fewer trucks and drivers and insurance and maintenance and gas to run the vehicles. So you run your business in a much more efficient manner. So think about the cost savings there. Our customers have told us 1,000 tanks. You're going to save me a couple $1,000s a tank a year by being more efficient. So if you start getting into real money here, a small business owner can save millions of dollars a year. And what's neat about a solution is this is secure, it's private cloud, it's end-to-end, and we're giving it as a whole managed service solution. Tangible ROI, and it's here today, and we're deploying this all over the place. So it's not one of these kind of, this is the future. No, this is actually right now. Now, I can tell you one thing for sure. That person that owns that oil distributor, they don't care one bit about IoT. They just don't care. And they don't care about the transport technology. They care that it works. They care that they can make better business decisions. They care that they save money. And they care that they service their customers. So this is a great example about how you do optimization of an asset. And this can apply to just so many things out there. Just think about it. Why do you go empty a garbage bin when it's not full? Think about that from a green perspective. We're burning energy, we're creating noise in a community, and it doesn't even need to be serviced. Just service things that need to be serviced. The list can go on, and that's what's really fascinating about this technology is put away your technology hat. Just think about how you can run a business better if you know what's going on at endpoints. And to me, that's very exciting because it creates unlimited opportunities using some great assets that already exist. Maybe chips from Intel, maybe network from AT&T. All these things are out there, but you got to put together a solution. That's what our customers care about. Another example would be another asset optimization. This is one with John Deere. It deals with supply chain. So supply chains, management, procurement management, they're always being challenged with how do you reduce cycle time? How do you make sure that we have the least amount of work in process? And if you talk about really expensive capital goods, boy, this can move the needle. So if you can track those assets, if they don't get lost, if you can cut down a day in a production cycle, you can be adding up to millions and millions of dollars. So knowing exactly where things are is really important in terms of a supply chain business. So you've got a whole kind of vertical, if you will, within supply chain, which can apply to just tons and tons of industries. But this is an example here where we provide, again, a managed service. We call it iManage. Pretty simple. Apple hasn't talked to us yet. And iManage is giving you that geolocation. It's giving you the whole application from the device, the network, the platform, and the application. I need to speed up given my time here. Another one, asset tracking. Another example, we have customers that rent out plastic pallets. You're like, what's the big deal? It's a pallet. They're expensive, especially if you have to go back to your customer because they lost them. So people want to know where they are so that they can get them back because their business is renting pallets, not selling lost pallets. So you've just got to make those pallets smart. And I'd rather have a pallet made of recycled plastic being reused constantly than using new material all the time. Again, it's going to cost a business less, and everybody in that cycle is going to win. Our customer and their customer's customer. Our job is to make our customers successful. And the final one I'll give you is another medical one, but we have another mission-critical application here with a customer that wants to make sure that their heart pumps that they sell are always working. It has to be connected at all times. You do want to have predictive information if batteries need to be changed, if it needs to be charged, if it's not functioning correctly, mission critical. So working closely with a customer in terms of the application, the network connectivity, and the platform is just essential here. So lots and lots of use cases. We feature a number of these on our website too, and we're always happy to talk about them. What I'm going to do is just make a quick comment on platform. I'm not going to go through this material because I want to allow time for a couple questions. At the core of all of our solutions is a platform. And when people talk platform, some people mean, well, this is a platform for connecting a device, or this is a platform for connecting a network, or this is a platform that enables an application. Well, if it's a piece, it's a piece. You really need to have all these pieces. So we need to be able to connect from your devices. You need to be able to do your billing. You need to be able to provide network. You need to be able to connect into the pre-integrate into all the other network billing systems. You need to have gateway connectivity. It's a pretty comprehensive set of services. That's what we do around our core of how we enable a service. We do that when we provide a solution or if our partners are using us to help them provide a solution. So I'm just going to pause there and not go into more detail. By the way, we've won a lot of awards, and I know Gartner is speaking earlier. They did vote us this year as one of their cool vendors, and we're very proud of that. We're proud of all the awards we received, but that's a pretty big deal. I think they pick 4 a year. And for it to be a 20-plus-year-old company and to be cool again, we're pretty happy about that. And to be an old guy, an old bald guy, that's cool. That's also pretty fun. Let me stop there and see if there are some questions, and we can go from there. And again, we're happy to answer questions afterwards. I don't know. It's a great question. Which slide did you want? Yep. I'm happy to leave that up. Is there another question, or you just wanted to take a picture? I got it. Is there another question? Yes. Right, so the question was, if you're adding value, how important is big data and analytics to adding more value? It's really important. So what's interesting is that we're at this exciting time, but we're also early days. So sometimes it's just giving early information like, what is going on with my tank? So I know which one to go serve. But very quickly, we should add some more information there. What if you added weather? What if you added traffic? Now, you should have those three, but what if you do it predictively? This guy needs to be serviced within 4 days, same with this person, but I should go one to east instead of west because of the weather and traffic patterns. So you could just see how some readily available information gets integrated into a solution and makes it more powerful. Now, of course, if you're a manufacturer of equipment, they may be looking for other signs that equipment's degrading so that they service proactively and not reactively. So I think the predictive piece, the data piece, the analytics piece, it's going to be big. What I like to say, and maybe I'll close with a statement or one more question. What I like to say is when you think about a device, I like to kind of think about it as a razor blade handle. You got to have it. But the razor blade's kind of like, how do you connect it? What's a platform? What's an application? But I have a feeling that one day we're going to call all of that a razor blade handle. And the razor blade's going to be the data. Because in the end, that's really the power. And again, I cited McKinsey earlier saying that 70% of the revenue is going to accrue to industrial and enterprise solutions. They also say that 90% of it's going to actually come from the data and the analytics. So that's the big opportunity that needs to be worked on.
How prepared is your company to take over emerging markets like Brazil, Mexico, or going into Europe? Because when we're looking into your website, it seems to me that you are very American.
Yes, so the question is how prepared are we as a company to go expand beyond the US? We've historically been focused in the US. Shu and I worked together in our last company. We were in 124 countries. We have an evil plan. So, but today it's very US-centric, but it's starting to change pretty quickly. Yes, sir?
I wonder if you can give me any insight into, are you developing solutions internally? Are potential customers coming to you with problems? And how are you identifying these potential customers, if that's the way you're doing it?
Sure. So the question is, are we developing internally? Are customers coming to us? What's the process? So what we've tried to do is focus on key problems we see out there for a lot of people and develop a solution that is applicable to a lot of people, not one customer. So we're not a custom shop solving a one-of-a-kind. We may do a first-of-a-kind if we think it's a really big market. So that's how we develop our own end-to-end solution. But we also are a middleware provider whereby we can give you network connectivity and platform. So if you want to do your own solution, then we can be helpful as a partner because we get it. We run that, so we can help you with your device strategy or your application strategy and be the glue in between as somebody that lives and breathes and dies in that kind of a business. And I think I'm using up my time at this point. So thank you very much. And again, I'll be around afterwards. I appreciate it.